G'day everybody, welcome to the first episode of Secure the Bag OT. So this series will be a short format podcast with some special guests, including Luke today. It's basically going to be discussing specific topics and the wide world of sports that we all know and love, including, but not limited to, the NRL, the NBA, Formula One, NFL, etc., etc. In this episode, we're going to be exploring one of, if not the biggest transfer of this window. Not Messi, but Cristiano Ronaldo moving back to Manchester United after 12 long years apart. Not that the man needs any introduction, boys, but five-time Ballon d'Or, five-time Champions League, 19 times he was the top goal scorer, three-time Premier League winner, Euro winner. He's coming back home. So over 30 major trophies. Need I say more, boys? Need I say more?
Well, unfortunately for you, I think we do have to say a bit more. I think we actually have to figure out whether he's a good transfer for Manchester United at this time. Now, let's start with one. Let's be honest. We all think that the deal itself is good. To get a player of his quality for that cheap is incredible. So for Luke, the details we have is that the deal itself is 20 million for Ronaldo, with wages of 510,000. That's the reports we've got right now. What do you make of that?
20 mil plus add-on, so it's probably
20 million plus
about 28 mil.
Yeah. I mean, would any of us here deny a player of that quality for that price if you had the option?
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. But it's absolutely nothing.
You can't, but I would argue you should turn it down. Even if you have the option to sign him that cheap, you should turn him down. And considering how cheap he was, it makes you wonder why Man City would have rejected that signing. Makes you think it wasn't about money, and makes you think it was about how he'd fit into a team. But that's just
I disagree. I disagree. I can't see Ronaldo ever moving to anywhere that isn't Manchester United. I mean, back in 2009 and in 2015 as well, he said he'd never play for City. He said money would never be a factor in that. I think when him and Fergie were together, I think there is such a respect that Ronaldo still does have for United. Really, they gave him his shot from Sporting, and I don't think he would be the player he is today without having such a coach, like such a great coach under Alex Ferguson. Like it would be great, talent's talent, but to be nurtured at such a young age, thrown in, I mean, top goal scorer like for the Premier League at such a young age, and I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing. I'm speechless. Honestly, I'm speechless. I'm buzzing.
I know you're speechless, Anthony, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't think Manchester United needed to sign him. Don't get me wrong, it is a quality signing. Like, yeah, any club would want to sign Ronaldo for that price, or any other player of his caliber. But I don't think you guys really needed him. Like, you look at your front line, you've got Rashford, you've got Cavani, you've got Mason Greenwood, who can play left and right footed, probably one of the best young talents in the Premier League as a striker position at the moment as well. You've just brought in Jadon Sancho. Like, you've got all these options. You've got Bruno Fernandes as well, which there could have been a Portuguese league between the two. But you've got like all these options here. Why would you want to bring Ronaldo in? I guess you can further elaborate to us why.
I mean, just to interject, I mean, you said the Bruno Fernandes Portuguese league. So in amongst all these rumours and stuff, Bruno and Ronaldo were actually speaking, and Ollie's come out and publicly said that they did have a conversation, Bruno and Ronaldo. But because I think it makes a huge difference. I mean, it's not the only Portuguese player at the club either. You got Diogo Dalot. So, means nothing because he's not going to play, but he's still contracted to the club, and I'm shaking. I'm shaking, honestly.
But here's the thing, right? And I appreciate that. I believe that a lot of people have talked with Ronaldo over the last 48-hour period. He's had call after call, but he talked to Pep Guardiola before he talked to people at Manchester United. I don't think Ronaldo has a sentimental bone in his body for the club. I think at a personal relationship, he respects Fergie, but the club, I think he views himself bigger than any club. I've always felt Messi believed himself to be within Barcelona, everything about how Ronaldo left Real Madrid suggested to me that he sees himself bigger than the world's biggest clubs. And I think it applies to Man United as well.
I want to give the other guys a chance to talk, but just on that, just because you brought it up, just on that. So he was talking to Pep, and it was known that he was talking to Pep. There was also a report that I read this morning. George Mendes also spoke to United simultaneously, right? Mm-hmm. So they were both. So he was in talks with both of them. And Pep has come out today or yesterday, I believe, and said, well, end of the day, Ronaldo chooses where he's going to play. Mm-hmm. The same way that Allegri said he wants to go, we'll move on. It's his decision now. And it's 100% correct. He's bigger than most clubs. But I think you're wrong in the sense that he doesn't have a connection or loyalty to Manchester United somehow.
All right. Well, I think I'm figuring out the battle lines here. I see where Anthony stands and where Matt stands. But Luke, you're sitting on the fence yet. I haven't quite gotten where you stand. So give me your honest thoughts. Do you think Ronaldo going to Man United is a good move for Manchester United?
It's an interesting one. I mean, I thought I was following the situation yesterday, and as you boys know, we've got a message where I'll just call it banter. To be honest, I wouldn't really call it Premier League and stuff that's in there. But yeah, it's honest because the deal was done basically to City. In my eyes, it was done yesterday, and then at the last second, I think Bruno's a big part of that. But yeah, with Mendes, and then he's come through to United, which was a surprise to me. But I mean, I can see both sides and I can see both points. But I think if Ronaldo buys into everything that United are trying to bring, like they came second in the league last year, he might be the guy that pushes them over. But it's risky because Ronaldo, through his whole career, has always had the impression of everything revolves around, and he'll want to be a big part of the offense and be part of everything they do. So how will that affect the other teams and the other team's talents, the rest of the squad? So that's about what it's about.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100% because I've spoken to Anthony about this and said, I believe he's a brilliant player, but he makes the team worse.
Yeah.
Not since he left Real Madrid. Juventus is the only example I've got. I don't have any other examples. I've just, because at Real Madrid, Zidane knew how to build a team of superstars. I don't know if Oli can do that though. But go ahead, Anthony.
Sorry. Well, I wanted to ask Matt because I know your answer, and Luke, I'll put it up to you as well. But and I'll give my opinion just for what it's worth. But do you think Manchester United or Manchester City was more attractive to Ronaldo? Because I think Manchester City are fantastic, and as we're recording this, they are absolutely ripping Arsenal to shreds. Like scoring 4 or 5 goals, so it's
still 4-0. Can we get an update on that? Still 4-0, not like 9 at this point.
David, it's 4-0. It's 4-0 at the moment. So
okay, all
right. But in my opinion, Man United was a way more attractive option. I mean, you've got arguably 2 of the best young talents in world football in Sancho and Greenwood. And Rashford, to an extent, he's still really young. And there's no denying, and it's you can't argue that they're 2 or 3 of the best top tier young talents in world football. But yeah, Matt, we'll go to you first. Do you think Manchester City was more attractive or Man United for it?
Look, I can't give a definite answer of which one could have been more attractive because obviously both of them have their strengths and their weaknesses. Like you pointed out, Manchester United have that strong young core of players that are looking for, I guess, a role model to develop their skills a bit further. But then you look at Manchester City's point of view and their midfield, they're always looking to upgrade talent. They're always looking to get guys in. Like we saw earlier this year, they brought Grealish in. They still play that really iffy or weird like false 9 system where they don't play with a striker, which I guess if they pick up Ronaldo, they could have slotted him into that striker position, or they could have got him to play on the wings as well. So he could have been versatile for them as well. So it's just more of a factor of I'm not quite sure what was more appealing to him at the time. I mean, I believe when the rumors first came out that he wanted to leave Juventus, it was looking more like a PSG move rather than a Manchester City or Manchester United. I didn't think that they were going to come up in the trade talks until we actually heard about the rumours leaking out. But yeah, definitely like what Luke said earlier, I thought Manchester City was a done deal. I mean, he would have fit into that striker position, but that's my opinion. I can't give you a definite answer of which one would have been more attractive to him, in my opinion, because I think they both have their strengths, they both have their weaknesses. I mean, obviously you got that Manchester United tie from previous years, but then you look at City finishing runner-up in the Champions League as well. Like they're going further in terms of trophies, in terms of European championships as well, and he could have pushed them over the edge as well. So
yeah, Luke.
Yeah, so I think that personally, I think the fit with United, I think, is better for Ronaldo, and I think it's quite simple why. I think that he'd fit into City, but I think City have, as Matt alluded to just then, a more revolving door of players. And I think with United's young core, and yeah, Ronaldo, some people might call him selfish, and he's a bit more of himself. But the thing is, if he can even just work in the next couple of years, because he's 36 and stuff, with the young talent, I think you can really propel United to a next level. But I think that might have been attractive for him as well.
But for me, it's like I can only see one thing on Ronaldo's mind. How am I going to win the Champions League and not Messi win the Champions League this year? He's thinking, I don't want Messi to be the one lifting the Champions League at the end of this year. I want to be that guy. And Man City, to me, has a better chance of doing that than Manchester United.
Can I modify that statement, Jackson? I think a modification to that statement would be, how can I benefit more than what Messi can? Because you look at Messi going to PSG, all the other free transfers that come on with Messi. PSG squad is now god tier in a sense. Like Donnarumma on a free, Ronaldo on a free, Messi on a free. Like Messi's in a good position to win another trophy. So I think Ronaldo was also thinking, what can I do to make sure I'm at that status as well? I'm at that level that I can compete with him still.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I think he didn't work at Juve. So last Friday, he told Allegri that he wouldn't play for Juventus again. And all things considered, I think it was, in his eyes at least, it was a pretty unsuccessful tenure. So some stats for you. He scored 29 goals last season, top scorer of Serie A. He scored 101 goals in 134 games for Juventus, which is fantastic, phenomenal numbers. And you'd be stupid to... And if you put those numbers in any league on earth, you'd be considered a god, right? But the Champions League ambition that I think Ronaldo has and needs, he wasn't going to get with Juventus. And I think Juventus haven't won Champions League since 1996. And it doesn't look like they'll win one for years now.
I mean, let me qualify that Juve one, though, those stats with one thing, right? So Ronaldo came in the end of in 2018, end of the 17-18 season. Have I got that right? He came in 2018. Now, in the 17-18 season, Juve scored 80 goals in Serie A. 80 goals. Yeah, nice. Ronaldo comes in. He's scoring, as you said, 20 plus goals a season. You'd expect that Juve would push on for their attack. The next season, that season afterwards, so 17-18, 80 goals. 18-19 season, they scored 6 goals.
Okay.
They didn't gain goals, they lost goals. And that's what Luke mentioned this earlier. How does a figure like Ronaldo, where everything revolves around him, affects how the other players are going to contribute? They don't. They pass to Ronaldo and either he scores or he doesn't. But what it means is that your team is less dynamic. So we can talk about Serie A, but we've actually seen that formula of Ronaldo dominating a team made Juve failed in the Champions League 3 times running. They didn't get to one semi-final. They got 2 and then 1 to the quarterfinals. When they beat Atletico in that return. Now that's why you have someone like Ronaldo. He saved them there. But in the long term, the team could not perform in a knockout stage with someone like Ronaldo dominating the team and preventing them from flowing. It's a team sport. It's not an individual sport.
Do you not think that the way United's stacking up now with the incoming of Sancho, who's a really good distributor of the ball, and he can get in behind that defense and be able to cross it into Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is synonymous with scoring cheeky tap-ins, as much as you had to say it. Scores worldies, but also tap-ins, a lot of tap-ins. And he had a fantastic supply while he was at Real Madrid, and Juve for that fact. But the way United are stacking up, they've got Bruno, who's one of the best scorers and creators in the league now. And they've got Sancho, who's just going to dribble down the wing every chance he gets, right? Rashford, I think, is going to learn a lot from Ronaldo, so he'll become more adept at getting in behind that defense and then being up across. Do you not think that United, the way that their team currently sits, is more adept at doing that than
Juventus? Well, let me say this about that. I think you're right. They're better than Juventus. I think that, maybe the Manchester United link makes Ronaldo a different character on the pitch. But let me say this. We're talking about a lot of young forwards, very impressionable. Let's say Sancho has an opportunity to cross the ball in, and there's two opportunities, Ronaldo and Bruno. Let's say Bruno's in a better position than Ronaldo. Sancho is going to pass to Ronaldo, even if Bruno's in a better position, because that's the character Ronaldo is. And that means, and let's say that means that Ronaldo misses that chance because of that, because he's in a worse position. That's a goal you've lost right there and then. It's an analogy, but those are the situations you're going to run into, because Bruno comes forward. Bruno isn't going to just let Ronaldo sit up there and do it himself. He's going to push on and help. Pogba will do the same. And these players are going to provide other options for goals that you won't unlock. And, no dig to Sancho. He can probably do it as best as anyone. But he will be impressionable. And Ronaldo is really going to seem like someone who towers over him. And when Ronaldo says, you're going to pass to me, you're not going to go, well, hell no. I'm going to pass to the player that gives us the best chance of a goal. That's how I think that could go down. Now, it's not necessarily, but it depends how Ollie manages that challenge.
Yeah, I've got two bits of input. One, going back to what Jackson just said about Bruno and Ronaldo and goal scoring opportunities. Now that Ronaldo's there, is he going to take the ball off Bruno on the penalty spot? And if he does, Bruno's goals will drop. That means we might not see him in the top 3 goal scorers of the season, like we predicted in our main channel episode.
Oh no,
that's true. Actually.
As well as that, I'd also like to point out that just talking about Ronaldo's character, how he's so invested on him being the center of attention or him having the ball most of the time. I just want to put it to you guys. How do you think the other younger players will develop, or how will their creativity begin to blossom if Ronaldo demands the ball from them or wants to have the ball at his feet at all times? Will Rashford be able to improve on more than what he is now? Like they'll be playing similar to the same position. Mason Greenwood as well. Like if Ronaldo's there and he demands the ball the whole time, like what Jackson just alluded to in that analogy, how the other young player is going to develop their skills.
Hard to say. I don't know. It's
interesting,
honestly.
Right? I think so. I wanted to bring this up before, and just for a bit of context. I mean, Ronaldo went to Juve for 120 mil. He's now just gone to United for 30 or 28. So he's no longer that really high ticket item anymore. I think when he was playing at Manchester United, he wasn't the center of attention. No, 100. Oh, he was, but he wasn't at the same time, right? There are other players around him like Rooney who were equally as good and equally as instrumental. So does that come with an added like, oh, okay, I know Manchester United, and does he just quickly revert back to, okay, I'm not going to be selfish anymore?
That's what I alluded to as the Manchester United link did that. But I'd say that had less to do with the club, more to do with the dressing room at that time.
That's true.
There were senior players who definitely outranked Ronaldo, who didn't give a shit how good, Ronaldo's little flicks and tricks were. They were just like, we've been here for the long haul. We know the club. We're winners. We're not going to listen to you. You can just fuck off, get out of here. They're hardened lads. When you've got nobody's like that at the club right now. There's nobody at the club who can claim seniority over Ronaldo.
No, not anymore. Not that he's now gone and come back years later, right? Because it's been quite a long time now. It's been 12 years apart. 12 hard, long years without the king. But I'm not as pessimistic as you. I think, Matt, you raise a good point. Luke, I want to ask, if Bruno gets taken off penalties, how many goals does Bruno get now?
Well, I think Bruno's goals reduced by about half a dozen. So whatever number you had him on, I'd take about 6 off. But I think it's also a good point, because I don't necessarily agree with everything you've said. I think with the young guys like the Greenwoods and the James and the Sancho, I think if Ronaldo and Bruno both call for the ball, I don't know if it always does go to Ronaldo. To be honest, I don't know if it always will. I mean, yeah, it's Ronaldo, but I think you got to remember that every player, to an extent, is playing for themselves. Yeah, it's a team, but they've got the World Cup next year and things like that. So everyone's got to build their own brand.
Yeah,
to an extent as well. I think that's really important that we have to look at.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
But here's how that would go down, I think. I mean, we know from what trust the media as much as you like, but we have good evidence to say that when Ronaldo doesn't get past 2, he has tantrum. Like, he takes it out verbally against the dressing room. Is that an atmosphere that helps a team win the title? Like that sort of stuff? Don't know if it does. I think it holds you back.
It's off-putting. You get people, you rub people the wrong way.
Yeah. There is an aspect of having some type of tough love in the dressing room, but then
I was just about to say that.
There's a difference between tough love and like selfishness.
I think it's not. United for a long, long time haven't had a character in the dressing room that is demanding more.
No.
And Bruno came in, Harry Maguire to an extent, but Bruno came in and he bleeds red. He's been that man for us for the past year, and Harry Maguire, as I said, to an extent, came in as the captain pretty much and made us a huge impact. I think Ronaldo, tough love. I think if he's demanding the ball, it's not just him demanding the ball. I think it's him demanding more of the team. So if he's saying, "Give me the ball," and Ronaldo knows if he's going to score or not, he's not an idiot. He's one of the smartest footballers of all time. I think if you give the ball to Ronaldo enough, you can't say that Ronaldo wouldn't score an easy goal 9 out of 10 times. If you give Ronaldo the ball 10 times in a match, an easy opportunity is going to score most of them. So him demanding more in the dressing room at half time and him yelling and being selfish, I guess, I think it's going to raise everyone up just that little bit more and say, well, shit, we don't want him to act like a dick. The best way to stop him acting like a dick is to just supply him, which I think might raise the amount of goals and the level of quality just that little bit, subconsciously at least.
But this is the thing, though, that irks me about the argument, is that he doesn't actually score, because when you focus the center of attention on someone like Ronaldo, he gets heavily marked, heavily defended. In reality, he's not getting 9 out of 10. I've seen some of his Juve. He's not as good as he used to be. He gets those tap-ins. He doesn't actually get those opportunities as much as he does.
Is that just Juve supply, though?
That could be. And you know what? Maybe. But you know what? They were a better team supplying before he came in. They supplied more goals before he came in.
I mean, I'd like to put out there as well that Juve has some of the top midfielders from the Italian league as well, Italian heritage. Like a few of the Italian national team midfielders are there, so it's not like they lack supply or they lack ability to assist.
Don't rip on Chiesa. Chiesa's a good player. Like, come on, what's that about? Yeah,
but you raised a good point. You said that he's going to draw, if you focus center of attention on Ronaldo, he's going to draw two or three players to heavily mark him, right?
Yeah.
Does that, and with the quality of Rashford and Greenwood and Sancho and Bruno, if he's attracting those 2 or 3 players, if he's attracting that left back and that right, and left back and left centre back, for example, if he's attracting them, they're going to create a hole. And Bruno is quality enough to score those. Sancho is quality enough to score those. The talent there, it's not like your Manchester City, right? And everyone, if we go back to Aguero, everyone used to mark Aguero. It's not like Sterling, because Sterling is going to score every opportunity, right? So when you put that into the context of Manchester United, Bruno, if he gets open, because he's the man that's being marked heavily now, if you give Bruno a little bit more space, he's just going to score the goals that Ronaldo would.
Yeah, and that would be how this should work. That person who drags the defenders away is being very unselfish. They're opening up gaps for other people. But here's where I think that fails. That depends on Ronaldo drawing the defenders away and going, go score goals. I've got this. You guys got. That's not what he's going to say. He's going to say, oh, I've got two defenders on me, but still give me the ball. I can do this. Yeah, still give me the ball. Don't worry about Bruno running through that gap. Give me the ball. I want the ball right now. If Ollie can get Ronaldo to be a bit sentimental and bring out that side, then that works and it's perfect because he will draw 2-3 defenders away. He absolutely will. And if he's unselfish, that should unlock absolute wonders for Manchester United in a league of so many defensive teams. Like it would be it would be good if it worked out that way.
Yeah. Well, you've also got to think, I mean, I think Ollie will have a good grasp on Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo joined Manchester United in 2003. Ollie didn't retire until 2007. So they do know each other.
They do know each other, but there's a difference in being a player-player relationship and a player-coach relationship.
I think in turn that becomes there's a bit more mutual respect.
Yeah, the history helps. The history does help.
The history does help, but then like if they know each other through playing wise, does that tend to Ollie to use Ronaldo more when he's on the field? Does it tend to get him to take opportunities away from other players to give to him more? Because he might think he's still the same player he was 12, 13, 14 years ago. But as we've seen in the last couple of years, he's not the same player.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah. And it seems we're running low on time. But before we wrap up, I want quick firing exercise. What we'll do is I want you to say how many goals you think Ronaldo's going to get this season and a trophy you think he's going to help Manchester United win this season. We'll go Matt, Luke, Anthony, me.
Sorry, can I just add to that as well? Can we add if we think Man United are now title favourites?
Well, if you think that he's going to help them to the Premier League title, you can say that is your trophy. Yeah. Go on, Matt.
Well, I think he'll score 20 plus. Exact number, I think 21. Just judging by the rest of the talent on the team, like goals are going to get put here and there throughout that front line and that midfield as well. So I don't think he scores as much as what he normally does. The title, I reckon he might help them win. Maybe the FA Cup. I don't know. Now it does give them a good shot at the Premier League. I mean, it's them. United. It's Man City and it's Chelsea, the top three teams. I think Liverpool to an extent as well. I think people might overlook Liverpool a bit now that the other three teams are starting to emerge a bit more. But I still reckon him and Manchester United will have to battle Man City and Chelsea for the title. In terms of Champions League, I don't think Manchester United win the Champions League this year. So I think he'll help them past maybe up to the quarterfinals and maybe the semi-finals, but I don't think they'll make the final.
All right, Luke.
Yeah, same. I think that he'll score about 18, 19 goals. It's just because so many attacking options, and as much as Ronaldo will want it, there's so many guys that can. They've got the quality to score. I think he'll help them win titles. I think, again, like Matt said, I think he summed it up really well. 3-horse race, I believe, with Liverpool as a fourth just behind for the title of the league. I think FA Cup and League Cup are always well open. I think any team could slide into there depending on how the managers structure it and with rotations and resting and stuff like that. But I mean, Ronaldo helps. Whether that's enough when you look at the big Euro teams or big side set, I think it could get them to the semis. They may even get to the Champions League final. It's a possibility. But whether they win it, I think it's just too early to call at the moment. But Ronaldo will add a lot to their team that they previously didn't have. So I think it's a good signing for United.
Okay. All right. Anthony.
All right. So being the resident Man United fan, I think Ronaldo's going to score 90 goals. No, I'm shitting. I think Ronaldo's going to he will score over 20. I think we're going to go. I'm thinking about the 23 mark. Do I think he's going to help titles? I think Manchester United are now title favourites. I think they're going to win the Premier League. Champions League, I'm not too confident about. I think depending on our draws, we might hit a roadblock somewhere like a PSG or Real Madrid, which would be interesting. But I think, yeah, Lou's got a point. I think maybe semis or maybe the final, but we probably would lose that. Bad track record. And yeah, yeah, 23.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll wrap up then. I think he's going to get a neat 20 goals. I think that's a good point. I think taking penalties will get him there. Without that, he'll score maybe 14, 15. You know, Manchester United getting all the penalties they do. I think that would leave him 15 non-penalty goals. In terms of trophies, he'll win them a nice EFL Cup. And yeah, that'll be it. I don't see a title in Manchester United's future for the next few years. He's only going to be there for like 2 years, maybe even just 1 year. I don't really see him being there for any longer than that. And Manchester United will have to wait a little bit longer for their first title since Fergie.
Fantastic.
That's my call on that one.
Well, thank you guys. Matt, go on.
He's going to make some good friends with Mike Dean with the amount of penalties he gave United last season.
Good mate.
They've been texting. They've got a group chat together. Don't worry.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into the first ever episode of Secure the Bag OT. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, add to your favourites if that's still a thing. But yeah, no, tune in. Let us know in the comments if you like this kind of content in short form. Let us know if you want any topics for us to cover. And thank you for listening.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys. Just one more thing as well before we cut. That Man City 5, Arsenal 0.
There you go.
Fantastic.